Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back to the Rabbi Jenny Experience, where we teach you to want the life you have, not have the life you want. We're here on WRPBI TV, the third leading internet television show in the U.S. of A. And we are here with the woman I was talking about in the introduction. I know you were just waiting with bated breath to see her face. Well, you should have been, because this is Dr. Giselle Faubel from Equilibrium. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, and tell first of all, tell the watchers of the show today, what is Equilibrium and what do you do there? I'm going to just let you take it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So Equilibrium is a facility where we see miracles happen. It's a place where we work with horses. We do therapies with horses, different types of therapies with horses, psychotherapy, which is what I do, and then there's occupational therapists, physical therapists, and speech therapists who also do therapy with individuals utilizing the horses. Now, my area, which is psychotherapy, is basically doing psychotherapy utilizing the horses.
It's
so that's
amazing.
what we do.
Yeah, and actually, Dr. Faubel, the clients in a program, female clients in the program that I ran, would go once a week, all of them, down to Dr. Faubel and Wendy, who's actually going to be in Arizona, taking all the knowledge you've given her, working with the horses, with the men out there with us in Arizona, but down there to do work for addiction. So somebody watching, like, what does it mean to do equine therapy or work with horses? Well, what do you mean when you say that? Do you ride them? Do you touch them? What do you do with the horses?
Right. So we do many things. The people who work with the horses are basically trained to bring the horses into the therapeutic environment, but we're also therapists. So we're utilizing the horses as a way of bringing about change in the clients that come out. Because I'm dually trained and I'm also a rider, I utilize riding because I feel that when you put a client on the horse and the horse's movement, which is bilateral, rhythmic movement, consistent movement, it creates a stimulus in the human body that basically shoots up the spine and helps regulate the nervous systems. So you have people on horses, and then you perhaps want to do meditation, which is like the ultimate bliss, and you help them regulate. And so what people report to you is that they feel wonderful, they feel great, and this is where you're supporting them. And then you can bring in their challenges. You bring in the challenges because the way I perceive it is everybody has challenges. We all have difficulties. But there's always an answer. How do you deal with your difficulties? Well, if you bring in your support when you present a challenge, then that's how you dissolve the challenge and you are able to deal with it. So the moment you bring in the challenge whilst they're on the horse and they're totally regulated, they can actually find answers of how to deal with their issues. Now, we've had people, as you remember, when the women would come out and they would say things like, which is the miracle, I had never felt love like I felt today with that horse. And that's something that we can't quantify it. No, it's not something that we can literally research and say, okay, this is something that's happening. But what is going on internally in the clients when they've been able to report those things?
Yeah, I have experienced it with your horses. Now that I open in that hard space with your horses out west, the horses talk to me that way, and it's the coolest thing ever. Like when I get to the barn, they all come. And they're, they call it heart talk. You actually have conversations. Like it's
Absolutely.
Very, people are watching going, okay, crazy rabbi talks to horses. But it's just a different type of language. And
well, we know through research with the Heart Math Institute that the heart produces electromagnetic waves. We know that, and there's electromagnetic energy. Well, think about the size of a horse.
Yeah,
and the horse has a big heart. It's about, I don't know, 20 times bigger than ours, or maybe something like, maybe just 3, but I like to exaggerate, big fish.
20 million.
Right. So in proportion, the horse's electromagnetic waves are about 80 feet in diameter. Wow. So the moment you step into the horse's space, they can perceive your energy, if that's what we want to call it.
It's spooky almost. I mean, like it's like that, especially if you work with Dr. Faubel, it's instant. It's almost like you send a cue to them
Well,
And
you start
they
kind
start.
of you start kind of
Yeah.
being like them, and so one of the things that happens to me is I've become so receptive like the horses because they're so sensorially aware that something happens, like a bird will fly, and we'll all look, and you see all the horse's ears and my face going up, and it's almost like we're all in synchronicity because we're kind of being like the horses.
Well, it's like when the girls would always tell me when they would come back, like they're part of the herd, like everything's about herd mentality. And I love in all the work that we would do, you would integrate that whole idea of the herd and bringing that home into humanity. You know,
We've lost that. We've lost that connection that we had with other human beings, which was being part of that tribe, that herd, that connection that really makes a difference and that really leads people to addiction. To me, it's a problem of disconnection. And when you're able to reconnect people with themselves, basically, and then they can reconnect with others, then that's huge. But so many people are so isolated and so, just disconnected.
so if somebody is struggling, you don't just deal with substance abuse,
No.
but I will, they can reach you at equilibrium.com. Now it's EQUUILIBRIUM.com.
No
right?
I. No I.
Equilibrium. I'm telling you, just look up her name, Dr. Giselle Faubel, Faubel. That is the easiest way because I always spelled
Yeah,
the equilibrium wrong because it's like equus, like the horse, and then it's librium,
Right.
Which is kind of peaceful.
Well, what it is, it's basically finding balance through the
Right.
way of the horse.
Right.
And to me, that's what it's all about. It's about homeostasis, finding our balance. There's always challenges, but there's always that support. And if we can find that support, then we reach that balance. But it's not something that you reach and then you stay there forever. You have to constantly be finding it. And that's where the challenges come in, and we just have to be constantly in check, trying to figure out where our balance is. And the horses teach us that. They
Yes.
really teach us how to find that balance.
Okay, so I have some questions for you.
Okay.
We have the 5 senses questions.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, but I want to ask you first. I want a miracle from your own life where you allowed someone to help you, because you help a lot of people. And no, not a 4-legged.
Not a four.
No, I don't want to hear about the 4-legged. That's all we hear about from you.
Okay.
I want to hear a moment where you, Dr. Faubel, Superwoman, allowed another human into your life to open
Well, it
you.
was very recently, actually, to show that we all have our challenges. The day after Hurricane Irma, I opened up my door, not knowing what I was going to find. I had 10 horses in a stable that I didn't know how they had fared that night. I came out to find that I had no trees on my property. They were all on the ground. And I was in shock. And I remember calling a friend and saying, I can't get used to this new normal because I've been here, I've done this before, and I'm tired. And she said, you got through it before, we're going to get through it again. And just hearing those words to me was like, okay, somebody's got my back. And that's all it took. And it was like, have faith in yourself, even right now, in these moments when you feel that you've lost it. And it wasn't like, oh, look at Puerto Rico and see how bad they're doing. No, that's not what I heard, because I knew that was what I was kind of telling myself. It was more, you've gotten through this before. You've had a dark night of the soul in the past. You will get through this one too.
So we're going to use that for something you heard. We're going to
Okay.
combine that for our 5 senses questions.
Okay.
And I want to, I'm going to take a couple extra. I'm going to take a little chunk out of my own time. You know what I'm saying? All right. So something you saw in the last 24 hours that was just amazing.
I saw a goose come out of a plant. So
A goose?
a goose come out of a fern, and I was very concerned because I thought, what the heck is that goose doing in the fern? So I peeked over, and what I saw was about 20 eggs.
Little eggs. Oh, that's awesome.
They were big, and these are endangered species geese, so it was very, very cool.
Oh, that's very cool. And what about taste? Something you tasted? How was your juice this morning? Did you
My
make
juice was delicious. That was probably the best tasting thing I've had so far.
And touched?
Touched. Well, I will go to my four-legged ones,
Yes,
and
the
it was
four-legged.
touching.
Yeah, who'd you
one.
touch this morning?
I touched Maria Bonita, who is like
The
one
mama
of our, the mama.
She's the mama.
The mama.
Okay, and smell.
Smell.
Not poop, not horse poop.
No, not horse poop. Although that is a wonderful smell because horses do tend to colic if they don't. So when I smell it, I thank God for it. But I think that the smell of Christmas right now is just so wonderful.
The cinnamon.
And yes,
yeah.
the cinnamon and all
Apple,
the
yeah.
spice, the pumpkin spice and all that stuff. So it's in the air and it's wonderful.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can get in touch with Dr. Faubel at Equilibrium. So it's EQUULIBRIUM.com. Please contact her if you're having any issues. She works not only with substance abuse, but family
Anxiety,
mediation,
depression, yes.
family difficulties. Just if this called to you, please contact her. She's a miracle in my life. Helped me a lot. And we'll be right back with closing remarks. This is Rabbi Jenny.